Hey everybody, my name is Andrew Jones. My wife Becky and I have been members of Calvary for several years. A couple of years ago, we were going to have a baby boy and we found out that he wasn't supposed to live long after birth. We got the news. It was pretty hard, as you can imagine. Had a lot of questions. Some of them were never answered and some of them won't be answered, but what was interesting was the day that we found out about Malachi's diagnosis, God was already at work. And that's proven by the fact that when we found out the diagnosis, he already had friends at the hospital that weren't supposed to be there. They were there to support us. It was pretty amazing to watch during the entire pregnancy how God was in control. It really didn't matter what we did, what we thought, or what was going on. It was very evident the entire time that God was with us. And it really built a lot of trust in Becky and myself and in our family. It was really amazing to watch how the faith of our children grew. And it's definitely not because of Becky and I. Nothing has to do with us. It's all about God. After Malachi was born, church family was at the hospital really soon after he was born. And after Malachi passed away, 16 minutes after birth, he passed away. I realized that as hard as it was, God was still with us. After coming home from the hospital, church family was there. God was in control. He knows what he's doing. We have been blessed so many times, and it still continues. I will never be able to remember all the blessings we've received. An example would be a plaque over the mantle, or a poem that was written, or cards we get in the mail, or flowers that would be dropped off, or a garden, an entire memory garden that church family showed up and put in for us. God is in control, and God loves us. Many times I've wondered, where in the Bible can I turn to read about these things? And the answer is always the same. Book of Job. That poor fella, if anything bad was going to happen, it happened to Job. Everything that you can imagine. But what didn't happen was Job never lost his trust, and he never lost his love for God. Job is a perfect example of where we need to be. What I'm getting at is something called the fear of the Lord continuum. And I'm not necessarily talking about fear as in you're afraid of the dark, or you're afraid of something that's really, really scary. While there is a healthy dose of that because we are talking about God, what I'm talking about is a respect for God. So maybe the respect of the Lord continuum. So we see where this starts off is terror, in dread. Maybe that can be talked about as you're afraid of the dark kind of terror, something very scary kind of terror. It is God, so I understand that. But we move into the trembling. What is really going on? Is this what I think it is? Is God really in control? And we see that he is in control, and we're amazed by that. Amazement, the next phase of the continuum. And after the amazement, there's reverence and devotion. God is in control. He knows what's going on. We don't need to fear, be afraid. He is already taking care of things. He's God. It's amazing. And after the devotion comes the trust, putting your trust in the Lord. What else is there? And after the trust is love and worship. We're loving to worship. You know, it doesn't matter if you dance, if you sing, if you read the Bible at family camp. Before every meal, it said, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all to the glory of God. And that's worship. It takes on so many different characteristics, but it's all worshiping God because He is God. So there's two things that I'll close with that Job describes. Job describes how to obey and how to love. Remember that God is in control, and He loves you, and He shows you how to love. And then, with that love comes the obeying. And when we are obeying and we give God control, there's nothing to worry about. That is the hope, and that is the encouragement that we have as Christians. And I hope that you would read the book of Job and you would see, yeah, God is in control, and we can make it through. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.